Struggling single dad saves woman from frozen lake. She returns in jet with diamond ring. To marry him, Ethan's life had been reduced to routine survival. The single dad juggled 2 jobs, patched old clothes for his daughter Lily, and kept a brave face, even when the bills screamed louder than his tired body. The harsh winter only made it worse. His truck barely started in the mornings, and the house groaned under the weight of the cold. One evening, while walking Lily home from school, across the snowy path by the frozen lake, they heard a scream. A woman's car had skidded off the road, plunging nose first into the brittle ice. Without a second thought, Ethan told Lily to stay back and sprinted toward the cracking surface. The freezing water bit into his skin as he smashed through the ice with his fists. The woman, dazed, terrified, was trapped, her seatbelt jammed. Ethan held his breath, dove, and ripped the buckle free, pulling her up through the shards of ice. He fought against the numbness in his limbs, until finally dragging her onto the snowy bank. Lily ran to wrap her coat around the woman as Ethan collapsed, shivering but alive. The woman, soaked and gasping, clutched his hand. "You saved my life. You don't even know who I am." Ethan just smiled weakly. "Doesn't matter. You needed help." Days passed. Ethan thought nothing more of it, returning to his grind of work, school lunches, and bills. But one morning, the sound of roaring engines rattled the little town. A private jet landed at the small airstrip, and out stepped the same woman, now in a tailored coat, surrounded by assistants. She wasn't just anyone. She was Isabella Hartman, a billionaire heiress and CEO. And she hadn't forgotten, at Ethan's modest home, she appeared with Lily wide-eyed at the window. Isabella dismissed her entourage, walked up the steps, and pulled a small box from her pocket. Inside glimmered a diamond ring. "You risked everything for me when you had nothing to gain," she said, her voice trembling. "I don't want to live another day without you and Lily in my life. Ethan, will you marry me?" For the first time in years, Ethan's eyes filled with tears, not of struggle, but of hope. Lily clapped her hands with joy. The struggling single dad, who had once fought only to keep the lights on, suddenly found himself standing at the edge of a new life, one where love, family, and a second chance waited inside a diamond ring. Ethan, Cole never asked for much in life. After his wife passed away 3 winters ago, all that mattered was raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. He worked at the lumber yard by day and washed dishes at the diner by night. His hands cracked from cold water and labor. His paycheck barely covered rent, food, and the rusting pickup truck that kept breaking down. But Ethan never complained in front of Lily. "Daddy, are you tired?" Lily would ask, her big brown eyes searching his worn-out face. "Never too. Tired for you, Peanut," Ethan would reply, ruffling her hair. The frozen lake. It was a Saturday afternoon when fate struck. Snow swirled across the town, covering the streets in ice. Ethan and Lily walked home from the library, boots crunching on the path near the lake. Suddenly, tires screeched. A black luxury SUV lost control on the icy road, spinning wildly before, skidding off and smashing through the frozen surface of the lake. "Daddy!" Lily screamed. Ethan's instincts roared to life. He shoved his daughter back from the edge. "Stay here, Lily! Don't move!" Without hesitation, he sprinted across the brittle ice. His boots slid, cracked spiderwebbing beneath his weight. The SUV was sinking, water rushing inside. He could see her, trapped behind the wheel, pounding on the glass. Ethan dropped to his knees and slammed his fists against the window. The ice-cold water clawed at his hands, but he didn't stop. "Hang on!" he yelled. With one final strike, The glass shattered. He plunged inside. The freezing water stole his breath instantly. His skin burned as though 1,000 knives pierced him, but he pushed forward. The woman's seatbelt was stuck. She was gasping, panics in her eyes. Ethan dove, yanked, twisted. Finally, the buckle gave way. He pulled her through the broken window, both of them fighting toward the surface. The lake's edge was 10 feet away, but it felt like a mile. His arms screamed, his lungs ached. At last, he shoved her onto the snow, collapsing beside her. "Breathe! You're safe now," Ethan rasped, coughing violently. The woman looked at him in disbelief, trembling. You saved me. You don't even know who I am." Ethan gave her a tired smile. "Doesn't matter. You needed help." The return Ethan never expected to see her again. He went back to his routine, splitting firewood, packing Lily's lunch, counting coins at the gas station to buy milk. 3 weeks later, the roar of engines thundered over their small town. People ran outside as a sleek private jet descended at the airstrip. A convoy of black cars followed, stirring gossip everywhere. At Ethan's little house, Lily pressed her nose to the frosted window. "Daddy, there's a lady in a fancy coat. Coming here." Ethan opened the door and froze. It was her, the woman from the lake, but now she wasn't wearing torn clothes or shivering with fear. She was elegant, radiant, powerful. "Mr. Cole," she said, smiling softly. "You probably don't remember me." "I remember," Ethan said quietly. "How are you?" "Alive, because of you," she whispered. The truth. Her name was Isabella Hartman, heiress to the Hartman fortune and CEO of one of the largest luxury hotel chains in Europe. She had been visiting incognito, away from the press, when her car crashed. "I left without telling you who I was," Isabella said. "I wanted to heal and to think, but every night I couldn't stop remembering the man who risked his life for a stranger while raising a little girl all on his own." Ethan shifted uncomfortably, unused to anyone praising him. "I just did what anyone would have done." "No," Isabella said firmly. "Most people would have hesitated. You didn't." She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Opening it revealed a diamond ring that shimmered like captured starlight. Lily gasped, her little hands flying to her mouth. "Daddy, is she—" Isabella stepped closer, her eyes glistening. "Ethan, I don't want to spend another day without you and Lily in my life. You showed me what true courage looks like. Not in money or power, but in love, sacrifice, and devotion. Marry me. Be my family." The choice Ethan was stunned. His heart pounded in his chest. All his life had been about surviving one day at a time. Now here was this woman, offering him a future he never dared dream of. Lily tugged his sleeve. "Say yes, Daddy. Please?" Tears welled in Ethan's eyes. He looked at Isabella, then at Lily, and finally managed a smile. "Yes," he whispered. "Yes, I'll marry you." Isabella slipped the ring onto his finger before pulling him into an embrace. The convoy of cars erupted in applause, but Ethan barely noticed. For the first time in years, he wasn't thinking about bills, cold nights, or tomorrow's shift. He was thinking about love, hope, and a brand new beginning. One that started on the edge of a frozen lake and ended with a diamond ring and a promise of forever.